iMA is a color-based language. It helps people connect better by understanding each other in a way that that person likes to be understood. So it's used to help people connect better, to communicate better with each other. People have a certain style. They like to be talked to and communicated in that style. And the purpose of it is to learn how to identify people who are not like you. People who are like you, you get a hang of very, very fast. You have an instant understanding. With people who are not like you, you therefore have to learn how to communicate with them. iMA works, the world divides into 4 different types of people, which represents 25% of the world's human population. So half of the world, 50%, are assertive. So there are people who are happy to express their opinions, like to make decisions work at pace and have a forward-thinking momentum. So they're thinking about what's next. Are non-assertive people who are the opposite of that. So they're going to hold back on their opinions until they're convinced it's a safe place to do so. They are great at jobs that need close consideration and analysis and detail. And they're thinking in the here and now. And then we divide again with logical, left-brain, self-contained people, and then who are task-led, and then we've got relationship-led, non-linear, what can I say? I don't want to say illogical. So they are relationship-driven people. They are people. So they need people and want people to work with. The others are happy to work with people, but they don't necessarily need them. So which 2 of those 4 elements, assertive and non-assertive, left or right brain thinking, decides your iMA color, and those iMA colors are high red, high yellow, high green, and high blue. So iMA initially can be used to remove any difficult clients or customers. You don't actually get rid of the people, they still are your client or customer, but you learn how to talk to them in a way in which they like to be talked to. And that's all types of communication, so they're no longer difficult. Once you've learned that this is how you talk to this particular person and you still find it difficult, there's a tactic in which you then match them up with somebody who's exactly the same as them, and that will be absolutely fine. And that's true of communicating internally, getting the best out of people, making sure that people are really, really good at their jobs by working in an environment that they're happy, and therefore not people upsetting them by the way in which they communicate. So the communication is internal and external. It is also used, iMA, as a guide for recruitment as well. So it's not just people who have iMA colors, jobs have iMA colors as well, and you want the right iMA color people in the right iMA color jobs. And if that happens, all sorts of good things continue to be in place. I offer training, so I can train companies and teams within companies on how to use iMA. And I also then offer consultancy for talent advising. So the idea is someone will come to me with a job, I will work out what iMA color it is, and then I'll repurpose their job advert with words and phrases that are very, very specific to attract the right iMA color. So I say the second best part of it is that 80% or more of the people who apply will be the right iMA color. But in iMA, what happens is you have commonality with 2 of the other 3 colors, and you have one where you're completely the opposite. So if it's a job for one color, the complete opposite people will never be able to do that job well. And this stops them from applying at all. So if they're not there, you can't give them the job by mistake. And actually recruiting, making a bad hire is really, really expensive. So this is going to help towards that. It also helps in 2 other ways. Retaining your staff, making sure they're happy, making sure their jobs are along their majority of what they do, matches their iMA color, because people are good at the things they like doing, and they like doing the things they're good at. But take either of those things away and both things collapse. And then finally, the problem that a lot of companies have is rewarding staff for doing well if someone they feel there's a promotion. So if one person does a job really, really well for 5 years and their number 2 has been brilliant for 3 years, the natural reaction is to put their number 2 into their job. But if they're not the same iMA color as the person they're replacing, it will be terrible, because you're not getting the best person doing that job. You've also taken the best person from taking it away from that other job, and the chances are that person hates their job. All the people who work with him or her hate their job. all the people who are then stakeholders in some way or other are very unhappy, and then that person leaves. So the company has done themselves a massive disservice. So it's helping, advising them to say, you can't put that person in that job. Promotion is not the correct word for it, and you'll have to reward them in another way, but make sure that the iMA colour continues to match. So there is an iMA questionnaire, and it takes about 2 minutes to answer. So it's only 10 questions. There's an option A or B on each on a radio button. At the end of it, it tells you, it even says congratulations. You are high red, high yellow, high green, or high blue. I'll explain what that means. And some people like to do it over and over and over again, and it still has the same result. So I'm a high yellow, so it means I'm assertive and right brain thinking. That means I'm very much a relationship driven person. The thing about high yellows, for the people who are not high yellows to be very aware of, is that if you look a high yellow in the eye, that is a conversation starter as far as they're concerned. So if you don't want to talk to them, don't look at them. They're like dogs in that regard. They see it as an opportunity. So yeah, and I will be good at jobs that need high levels of communication. You think about high yellow jobs, they're going to be people who like networking, presenting, marketing, selling, being at the front of a project. Very comfortable place for a high yellow to be. And if you're the opposite of that, which is a high green, and they hate it, don't make them do it, because there's no point.